Alright guys, I'm going to try to make this video quick because I've been meaning to do it for like 2 years and I just keep putting off on it. But we're going to do a current car check. 2025, it's October, mid-October. The season's just ending. It's like the last week or two where it's going to be nice enough where I can wear a t-shirt outside. So before I ruin this car more throughout our salty winters, let me show you guys the current condition of the car and kind of do like a walkthrough where I show you guys what has currently been done and basically the stages of the car. That way, so in the future you can kind of, more for me, but look back and be like, wow, that's the stage of the car was currently in at the time. And what's really cool about that is I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to walk through everything that I've done to the car, because this is kind of like the dumbest car someone's ever built. So let's just cut straight to it. I'm going to close the trunk and the door. Let's get a little walk around. Take a look at the car right now. So it is a 2002 BMW 325 Ci. Now, the reason why I say this car isn't really worth it is because I should have just bought a 330. Actually, I should have just bought an M3. I have one, and this car is almost an M3. Usually when you start buying things, a lot of people buy a car and be like, oh, I'm gonna LS swap it, or I'm gonna manual swap it, or I'm gonna put the bigger engine in it. Usually you don't end up actually doing that, or when you do, the car is less valuable when it's modified, and also it's one of those things where it's like you should have just bought a 330. So this car currently has a 330 ZHP motor. It has a 6-speed ZHP transmission, M3 drive shaft, M3 rear end, so it has the M3 LSD. I have another one sitting here. An M3 LSD, M3 axles, M3 rear brakes, 330 front brakes. Currently it is catless with a rear muffler delete and this custom resonator that my friend welded on, and then some shitty shop welded on. These pipes that fall off very often and rust away and stuff. So right now they're being held on by zip ties, and they actually work better than the welds. Rust. When I got this car, it had the tiniest little pocket of rust right here. It's right there at the tip. Usually that is caused from when you take off the gas cap. I broke it, but there's a little piece that hangs, and then the gas cap ends up sitting right there and causes it to rust here. When I got the car, I could probably throw a picture up maybe, but there was a tiny little spot where it was basically doing this. It was just bubbling just a tiny bit there, and then I let it sit after I blew the 325, the 2.5 liter engine. Over a winter, it was about 1.5 years it sat without ever running. It just sat here, and I think that's what kind of did all the damage to it. Rocker panel rust. Some of this is so bad that if you push on it, like your finger could pretty much go through. I think it's right here. This is really bad. None of this was here. None of this was rusty. It's not this fender. The other fender where the fender bolts up is rusty, so it just rattles. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It needs, the whole car needs to be resprayed, repaired. How is your tire up here? That's crazy. We're actually gonna go get a slick top from the junkyard. So right now it has this heavy ass annoying sunroof that causes water to go down, get caught in here, and that's the leading cause of the rust in the rocker panels. So we're gonna be trying to fix that. It has a replica M3 bumper. All of the bumpers that are replica do not fit correctly, so they just, and the only way to hold them on is zip ties. Same thing with my actual M3. It has replica bumper and they sit like shit. Here's the other fender. It's pretty badly rusted. It's rusted so bad that you can no longer put the clips in for the side skirt. So it looks absolutely terrible. And then we do have more rust. But the thing I always say about these cars is I'd rather them drive good than look good, because this car drives phenomenally. There's a bunch of scratches here that I got in the first couple months of ownership. A tire blew up and the rubber just went all over the place. Started making rust here. I don't know how there is even rust this looks planted by someone. I mean that as a joke. Right now we're on 215 45 17s squared on BBS style 5s, RC090s to be specific. No spacers in the rear, and we're running a like 5, maybe 2.5 millimeter spacer just to clear the 2-piece wheel bolts in the front. We're on BC Racing coilovers. Yada yada, that's like the regular stuff. Two 12-inch subwoofers take up so much space in my trunk that it's practically unusable. And then we got a bunch of rust here. And I went to my first drift event ever, and the car drifted phenomenally. I could not say I love this car more than after I took it to a drift event. Drifted it on the same tires exactly that I drove it there with. Drove it home, no issues at all. And we're taking it to the drift event tomorrow for the last day of the year. So we're gonna get that one last day. This thing fell off while we were there. So yeah, we're gonna do a little interior check, but first I gotta show you that the door handle does not stay. This one's broken and comes off. This is my second door handle I've had in this car. So you gotta open it from the inside. Oh, I almost forgot M3 mirrors, because yes, I've spent too much money on this car. We have a fire extinguisher for the track, but also just safety precaution. We have real M3 aluminum trim. I hate this head unit because it makes the car look retarded. It is not modern enough to have an iPad in the screen. We have 6-speed ZHP real shift knob. This thing was like $100 and something. E46 M3 steering wheel, E46 M3 cluster, because I do plan on revving the car higher, and the other one limits how high I can rev it. More M3 trim that is really dirty because it just attracts so much dirt and dust. Everything on the interior attracts dirt and dust. I hate it. I do not know why. No matter how much you clean this, it will attract dirt and dust. Super quick. M3 interior pieces. Now, if you're wondering why I'm having so many M3 parts, but the car isn't an M3, it just all looks better. It's not that I'm trying to rice out the car, but these M3 parts just simply look better. The doors shut. Awesome. I love the sound. Not as good as my E30, but still awesome. I sit really close. People make fun of me, but I like to feel like a race car driver and have as much control as possible. Let's start the car. Show the exhaust. Show how quiet the car is. And so at the time of recording this, I do not know the exact mileage. I can probably put it on screen, but I think it's close to 260,000 miles on the engine. I believe the chassis should have 220. This cluster is wrong because I swapped it, obviously. So other than the seatbelt and the door being open, no lights. We're gonna turn the wheel so the car doesn't roll down the hill. Here's the exhaust. Very mild, very tame, extremely dirty back bumper that I have replaced, and it was painted very nice quality, and it just destroy everything. We're gonna give a little rev, but not too much, because my neighbors are actually really cool with me and I do not want to piss them off, so nothing too crazy. I forgot to turn my wheel. No parking brake. I just pull it because it looks aesthetically pleasing. And I guess for an ender, I guess we'll pop the hood just to show under there. Ooh, the engine's getting more and more oily as I leave it. So there's something that's supposed to be here. It's deleted. I don't remember what it was. So this car originally came with halogens. I put on xenons. I very lightly tapped someone's bumper with my car, and because it was an SUV, it hit up top but not down low. I think this hit his tow hitch, and I cracked a headlight housing, so I bought a new headlight, even though I could have just replaced the lens. This I think is unrelated damage. So I have a Euro front plate that's actually from Europe. I could be wrong, but I think it came off of an E21 320i in Germany. It did have a TUV sticker, so the car was legally allowed to drive on the road, which was really badass and cool that I had. And because this is actually from Germany, this is not Ricer, this is actually really badass. And I actually want to make this my legal plate in the rear. But unfortunately in Illinois, you can only have 3 numbers and they can only be at the end and no spaces. So if I put a space here, it wouldn't work. And if I use 4 numbers, it wouldn't work. So I can't be cool and have a cool story behind my plate. Here's my BC Racing top hats. I do have a carbon fiber strut bar, but it hits my BC Racing coilover damper adjusters, so that kind of sucks. SAP delete, which means no catalytic converters. Catalytic converters are deleted. Catless headers. Electric fan's been replaced, but that's kind of pointless. What we got going on here is random wires that I'm just trying to hide. One of them is for the ambient air temperature sensor. That's why it says it's negative 40 degrees outside. The other one I think is for fog light, because they don't work. I don't think they're plugged in. They're just here for aesthetics. And then airbox, factory airbox. The reason why I run a factory airbox, not a cold air intake, is because an intake is just a piece of paper. There's no way a piece of paper is going to add power to your car. If you say this is restrictive, I mean, you're kind of wrong, because an air intake would be sitting right here next to a hot expansion tank, and all the hot exhaust or hot engine bay, I guess warmth would be on the filter. This kind of helps it a little bit. This also helps from sand and dirt and oil and power steering fluid from getting on your filter and being into your engine and gunking up your filter, because oil actually attracts the shit out of dust, as you can see. And you notice there's no dust here. Normally, if I ran this and the little piece that brings it from here, you'd actually have a real cold air intake, because the cold air would be coming directly from your kidney grills in front of your car, and that would be the only way air would get into your car, would be through the front. So this is the coldest spot, like over here. This is all hot, so technically this is not the best setup. But unless you're turbo, a cold air intake does nothing. I just had to ramble about that. This car does have working AC, it does have working heat. Just wanted to go through everything because I never had a chance to go through it. It is titanium silver. Wiper delete. It's actually really cool. Or not wiper, whatever the hell these are. Headlight washers, or yeah, headlight washers. This car originally had headlight washers and windshield washer fluid delete. And last thing is, obviously this front bumper was painted. My friend painted my hood. I don't know if maybe I chose, because I chose the materials, I chose a cheap clear coat, but it's fading, as you can see. This cracked again because this car was originally from a car in New York with an automatic clutch fan that exploded and dented the hood. And because he painted the car, he blended into the fenders, and that's why, if you notice, the fender is a different color from the door. It's actually a little shinier and nicer. That looks more dull, and that looks more shiny and new, except it kind of got a little sun faded as well. So you can see the whole car needs to be repainted. So my plans are M3 fenders, legit, from BMW, M3 bumper, M3 hood, and if I eventually can find it, because it's gonna be hard, M3 rear fenders, because they're already rusting anyway. And then the slick top. And then my final would be the real carbon fiber CSL trunk lid, because it just gives that curve across the whole thing. That car is gonna get it too. But this car is like my baby. So last things before I run out of storage, because I think I got like 10 seconds. I do plan to go with a turbo for this car. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I'm going with a 3076 turbo kit, and I'm shooting for 350 on 93, maybe 450 on E45, depends on the tune. I don't know if this is still recording, but that is future plans. Other than that, I mean, you guys kind of get the gist. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned to see more videos like this, or not like this, but more videos on the build. And also check out my drifting videos, because I went drifting for the first time, and I'm about to go for the second time, and I'm actually really stoked. So hopefully this is still recording. It is. See ya, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.